As a Gen Zer who was basically raised as a millennial, let me tell you something. The books that we have today are absolute slop and smut. I know there are some exceptions. I can't cast my net that wide and peg all modern books as horrific, but I mean, let's be honest, it's become a huge issue. I was raised on books like Nancy Drew, The Hardy Boys, Percy Jackson, Ranger's Apprentice, Once Upon a Marigold, and then just plenty of others that are so good and really invoke your imagination, and they aren't sexual. Today, however, I find it very difficult to pick up any book and not find it to be sexual, rated R in some way, or just in general be some form of smut. That's just so gross. Most of what I see today on Book Talk and other platforms are people promoting books that are less than, how do I put this? Less than healthy to be reading. Let's just put it that way. Back in the day, I read the entire Sarah J. Maas novels. That was like in my teens, and I was obsessed with them. But I didn't know how badly it was feeding my lust issues or how it was affecting the way that I interacted with people until I actually cleansed myself from those types of stories. Because let's be honest, it's basically porn, and I'm sick of it. And not to mention that these kinds of books are sometimes targeted specifically towards teenagers, which is a whole other issue in itself that we could get into, but not in today's video. Sometimes I think that smut books are in some ways worse than pornography because it allows your brain to kind of run rampant with this idea and just come up with scenarios on your own in your head. I don't really know though, debate that in the comments with me if you want to. I'm not like gonna debate and be like, oh, I'm right. I'm more of just like, I'm curious to know your opinions about that, but that is a thought that has crossed my mind. But I see women who read these books wanting to have them acted out in real life, and they'll either try to get their husbands to follow this script or to find someone else to do so, which is just really gross, might I add, especially posting that online. That is really weird behavior. I also think it's really funny how some of these books are women's fantasies in their minds somehow, but if these women were actually ever in these situations, they would be horrified, they'd be calling the cops, or in general, they would just be creeped out by the men who are making these moves on them. And these situations really only work in a book or sometimes in a movie. Like Twilight, for example. What the heck is going on with that? I will say I enjoy watching the first movie around October for nostalgia purposes and because it's a lot of fun to laugh at, like, let's be honest. But again, I knew so many girls in high school who wanted to be Bella and acted like her, and honestly all I could really do was try and not laugh at their failed attempts to find their Edward and just look as though they were about to barf every single time you talk to them. It was prime comedy back in the 2010s, I'll tell you that. But anyways, this is basically, I guess you could say, my petition / my rant about wanting good fantasy books for women and men. Okay, men too, but women especially I feel like are lacking good fantasy books. And then some people will call out the cult classics like Narnia and Lord of the Rings, but like you can only read those so many times before you need new material, guys. Don't argue with me on that. I want books that actually feels like the author put effort into them and didn't just punch some idea into ChatGPT. So if you have any recommendations, please put them below. Let me know. Please don't say anything from Jane Austen. Again, that's a cult classic. Everybody and their grandma has read those books. But if you found something that maybe is lesser known or new and exciting that isn't slop or smut, please let me know in the comments below. Look, I know I am not the only one who has experienced this or who wants better books for women. I mean, we have some awesome Catholic books, okay? But not everything you consume needs to be specifically Catholic. It's totally fine to read or watch things that don't involve Catholicism at all. But the issue is that these days, especially, good content is generally hard to come by. We're just constantly being fed regurgitated ideas out of Hollywood, endless sequels and remakes or live action adaptations. In all honesty, it just kind of feels like the entertainment industry is dead. I haven't been to the movie theater since, I think, Inside Out 2, and we only went with a few friends, and I haven't gone to a theater since. Everybody I talked to about Wicked said it was absolute garbage, and in general, just just trying to find good entertainment that you don't just throw on in the background to feel less alone is becoming harder and harder to come by. I also think it's really telling about our world when we need smut in order to actually enjoy something, although I don't think it is completely accurate based on most people's reactions to Wuthering Heights or Wuthering Heights, I don't know, however you say it. They literally turn this book into a sexual fan fiction. But at the same time, this is the entertainment that's constantly being pushed out to us. Remember when 50 Shades of Grey came out? It was absolutely insane and it was really gross. But there are a lot of people who are clearly still consuming this content, and maybe they're desensitized to it, which isn't good, or they genuinely enjoy it, which also isn't good. Can we all just be normal, please? Is that too much to ask? But, you know, knowing how corrupt Hollywood is and always has been, it honestly does not surprise me when they're still shoving this slop in our faces and the NPCs of the world are just eating it up. Anywho, let me know respectfully what you guys think in the comments below, and don't forget to check out my affiliates in the description to get a discount on something you might want. Love you guys. Bye.